If you are preparing for UPSC, stop. Before you open the notebook, before you pick up that pen, I need to ask you one question. You have been preparing for UPSC for months, maybe years. You are reading The Hindu every single day. You are going through PIB, you are reading Yojana, you are watching Rajya Sabha TV, you are consuming massive amounts of information. But here is my question. Where is all of that information right now? Is it in 12 different notebooks that you cannot find? Or is it in 200 web browser bookmarks you never open again? Is it in WhatsApp forwards from your coaching group? Or worse, is it just gone? Lost somewhere in your brain only to vanish the moment you sit in the exam hall. If any of this feels familiar, this video is gonna change how you study forever. My name is Karthik Basetti, and today I'm going to show you something that I personally use every single day for my own knowledge work. It's called Obsidian. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to build second brain that connects all of your UPSC knowledge. GS1, GS2, GS3, current affairs, everything in single place, and then use AI to get insights from it. This is a long video. Stay till the end because the last 10 minutes where I talk about using LLMs with your notes. That is the part that will give you a serious edge over every other aspirants. Let us start. Let me paint you a picture of how most UPSC aspirants manage their notes. Year 1, you buy beautiful notebooks, one for polity, one for history, one for current affairs, very organized, you feel great. Year 2, the notebooks are full. You start with new ones, but now the old notes are somewhere, the new notes are somewhere else. And when a question comes from federalism in polity, you realize your current affair notes from 3 months ago also had something relevant, but you cannot connect them. Year 3. You have notes in notebooks, notes in Google Docs, notes in Notes app, screenshots on your phone, and you spend more time looking for your notes than actual studying. Sounds familiar, right? This is not your fault. This is the fundamental problem with how we were taught to take notes linearly in silos. Polity is separate from current affairs, economy is separate from environment, but the UPSC exam does not test you like that. It tests you on connections. UPSC asks, what's the constitutional basis of this scheme? What's the economic impact of environmental policy? How does this judgment affect governance? UPSC is fundamentally about linking ideas. So, your note-taking system must also link ideas. In 1950s, a German sociologist named Niklas Luhmann developed a note-taking method called the Zettelkasten, which literally means slip box in German. This man wrote over 70 books and 400 academic articles in his lifetime. Researchers who studied his work after he died said his output was almost superhuman. His secret, instead of writing notes in linear notebooks, he wrote each idea on a separate card. And here's the key. Each card was linked to other related cards. So, when he had new idea, he did not just write it down. He asked, what does this connect to? Where in my existing knowledge does this fit? Over time, his slipbox became a thinking partner. He would look at connections between cards and find insights he had never consciously thought of. He called it communicating with his slipbox. Now, Obsidian is digital Zettelkasten. It's the Zettelkasten system on your computer. Every note is a card. Every note can link to other notes. Over time, you build knowledge web where everything is connected. I want to be transparent with you guys. I personally use Rome Research for my own knowledge work. Rome Research was actually the pioneer of this linked note-taking approach for the modern digital age. It popularized bidirectional linking, daily notes, graph view in a way that inspired an entire generation of tools. You could say Rome Research is the father, or at least the elder sibling of Obsidian. So why am I showing you Obsidian instead of Rome? 3 reasons. 1. Obsidian is completely free. Rome has a subscription. For a UPSC aspirants on budget, free matters. 2. Obsidian stores your notes as a plain text files on your computer. Your data is yours. It will never disappear because a company shut down. 3. Obsidian has massive plugin ecosystem and community in India. You will find templates, YouTube tutorials, Reddit communities all built around Obsidian. The philosophy is the same. The tool is just more accessible. That's why we are using Obsidian today. Alright, let us get hands on. Open your browser and go to obsidian.md. You will see a big download button right on the home page. Click it. Download for your operating system, Windows, Mac, Linux, and install it. It will take less than 2 minutes. I'll wait. Okay, Obsidian is open. The first thing it asks you is create a new vault or open folder as a vault. Let me explain what vault is. Vault is simply a folder on your computer where all your notes will live. Think of it as your UPSC brain folder. Everything inside this folder will be your knowledge base. Click create new vault. Give it a name. I'm going to call mine UPSC vault. Choose where to save it. I recommend your documents folder or a folder that is backed up to Google Drive or Dropbox. Then click create. Beautiful. You now have an empty Obsidian vault. It looks a bit empty and intimidating right now, but by this end of this video, this is going to be a powerful knowledge machine. Let me quickly orient you. On the left side, you have the sidebar. This is your file explorer, like a folder, like a folder tree showing all your notes. In the middle, you have the editor. This is where you read and write notes. On the right side, you have another panel for backlinks, tags, and other views. At the top, you have a ribbon with icons for different functions. Do not worry about all this right now. We will use each piece as we go. The most important thing to know is in Obsidian, everything is a markdown file. Markdown is just simple way of formatting text using symbols like hashtag for headings, double hashtag for bold, dash for bullet points. Very easy to learn. But here is a key insight about Obsidian. Do not over organize with folders. Folders are for broad categories. The linking is what creates the real organization. I have seen many aspirants create 40 different folders and then spend more time organizing than studying. Keep it simple. For UPSC, I recommend this folder structure. Let me create it live. Right click in the left sidebar and select new folder. I'm going to create these main folders. Folder 1 is for inbox. This is where new unprocessed notes go. When you read an article, take quick notes. They land here first. This is your inbox, just like your email inbox. Folder 2, GS subjects. This will have subfolders for each GS paper. GS1 history, GS1 geography, GS1 society, GS2 polity, GS2 international relations, GS2 governance, GS3 economy, GS3 environment, GS3 science and technology, GS4 ethics, folder 3 current affairs, subfolder here, newspapers, PIB, government schemes, Supreme Court judgments, and report and indices. Folder 4 will be for essays. For essay topics, arguments, examples you collect will be important. And folder 5 is for Obsidian templates. We will create note templates here in a moment. And folder 6 resources for book summaries, YouTube notes, coaching material notes, etc. This is it. 6 main folders. Simple, clean. Everything has a home. Now let us create our first actual note. Let us create a polity note on the topic of fundamental rights. Now here is where Obsidian magic begins. I write my note in Markdown. At the top, I always add what we call front matter. This is the metadata for the note. I type 3 dashes. Then on new lines, tax colon, and I will add polity and GS2. Then source colon Lakshmikant chapter 7. Then created colon today's date. Then 3 dashes to close. This metadata helps in searching and filtering later. Now I will write heading fundamental rights and I start writing article 12 to 35. But here is the key part. Watch this. When I mention something that has its own note, for example, I want to mention article 21, which is right to life. I type double open bracket, then type article 21, then double close bracket. See what happened here? Obsidian turned it into blue. It created a link. Even if the note on article 21 does not exist yet, Obsidian has registered this connection. This is bidirectional linking. This is the heart of Obsidian. When I later create note on article 21 specifically, it will automatically show that the fundamental rights note links to it without me having to do anything extra. Alright, now let me show you how to take notes from a newspaper. The Hindu, Indian Express, wherever you read. I got to I go to my newspapers folder, create a new note, title format, date, then topic. So today's date, then hyphen, then the topic. For example, anti-defection. I will use a template I have created for newspaper notes. Let me show you the template structure. At the top, front matter with tax, source and date, then a heading, the article title, then 3 section, what happened, 1 or 2 lines, plain summary, key details, bullet points of facts, numbers, names, dates, etc. You can further add UPSC relevance section where you can write which GS paper, which topic, what kind of question this can generate, and what existing notes this connects to by just adding double bracket. Now, from this article, you can add pointers like constitutional provisions, historical context, uh, judicial evolution, Kyoto Olohon case, Ravi Nayak case, Nabam case, 2026. Yeah. Exceptions to ADL, role of speaker. Okay, this is how you build a connected knowledge base. Over time, when you open your note on 10 schedule, it will show you all the current affairs pieces that relate to it. We'll see the full picture, not isolated fragments. Now, let me show you how to take PIB notes, Press Information Bureau, which is gold for UPSC, government schemes, policy announcements, cabinet decisions, all come from PIB. And they directly translate to even answer points. PIB note template is even simpler. Date, scheme or topic name, one line summary of what was announced, key provisions, which ministry, funding if any, and then UPSC relevance section, same linking approach. One pro tip: when you read about a new scheme, create a note for the scheme itself, separate from the PIB note. So you have a note called PM Kisan, for example, as a living note that gets updated whenever new PIB releases mentions it. The PIB note links to the same note. The scheme notes become richer over time. By the way, if you want a head start on polity or struggling to revise polity, I have built a complete Anki flashcard deck covering the entire constitution, articles, amendments, landmark judgments, everything. Link is in the description. Took me months to make actually. Anyways, back to the note. Okay, now I wanna show you something that will make you fall in love with Obsidian. Click this icon on the left ribbon. It looks like a scatter plot. This is the graph view. What you're seeing right now is a visual map of all your notes and how they connect to each other. Each dot is a note. Each line between dot is a link. Highly connected notes. The ones that appear in many other notes become bigger dots like hubs. Over time, your UPSC graph will show you something beautiful. Your core topics like constitution, economy, environment become massive hubs with many connections. Current affair notes become smaller notes that cluster around these hubs. You can literally see your knowledge structure. But this is not just pretty. This is actually functional also. You can click on any node in the graph and open that node. You can filter by tags also, like show me only economy nodes. You can also zoom in into clusters. When you are revising, instead of going through a linear lists, you can explore your graph and rediscover your connections you had forgotten. This is what UPSC toppers mean when they say see connections between topics. They have built this kind of integrated knowledge structure, whether digitally or mentally. Obsidian makes it visible and searchable and even functional also. Let me show you how to set up templates so you are not recreating the same structure every time to make a note. Go to settings, uh, the gear icon bottom left, then core plugins and turn on templates. Then in settings under templates, point it to your templates folder. Now create 3 template files in your template folder. Template 1 will be for newspaper article, template 2 for PIB note, template 3 for subject note. I will show you the newspaper article template. The template has the front matter block, then sections for summary, key details, UPSC relevance, related notes, save it. Now, whenever I create a new newspaper note, I will just press Command P or Control P to open command palette, type template, click insert template, choose newspaper article, and the structure is instantly inserted. One click, ready to fill. One more habit I want to recommend is daily notes. In settings, turn on daily notes core plugin. Every day, Obsidian can automatically create a note for that date. It can be for your study journal or your daily journal writing. I use my daily note as a study journal. At the start of the day, I write what I plan to study. Throughout the day, I jot quick thoughts and interesting connections, things to follow up on. At the end of the day, a quick review. What did I process today? What links did I add? Your daily notes will become a diary of your UPSC journey. And because they are in Obsidian, they are linked to all your subject notes. A year from now, you can open your daily notes from any date and see what were you studying and what connections you are making. Okay, this is the part I promised you. This is why taking notes digitally in Obsidian is not just better than notebooks. It is fundamentally different category of tool because of LLMs. Here is the core insights. LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, can process and analyze texts. Your notes that are markdowns or text files. Your Obsidian Vault is thousands of text files. This means your notes are now AI readable. You can just say that one can upload PDFs, handwritten notes, again, which will be either PDFs or images. They can work, but they will consume lot of your tokens, which will result in lot of hallucination, which will be very bad for your preparation. Let me give you concrete example like case 1. For answer writing practice, you will copy the content of your note. Say this is just for demo. I will use the previous fundamental rights thing. Once you have enough notes, your subject notes plus relevant current affairs, and when you paste it into Gemini or any LLM of your choice, you say, based on these notes, give me 5 potential UPSC mains questions on this topic and draft model answers using only the information in my notes. In 30 seconds, you have personalized practice material built entirely on your own study notes. Use case 2 of it's for gap analysis. You paste your notes on a topic and say, I'm preparing for UPSC GS2. Based on these notes, identify what important areas I have not covered it, And then AI acts as a study partner who knows your notes and tells you your blind spots. And use case 3 will be for connection discovery. For example, you paste notes from two seemingly unrelated topics, maybe article 21 and 15. You ask, help me understand what connection exists between article 21 and 15. The AI will find angles you hadn't thought of. Here you can see dignity as common bridge, golden triangle nexus. These are actual UPSC relevant angles, by the way. And use case 4 will be for summary and revision. Before an exam, take all your notes from a section, dump them into Gemini or Claude, and say, create a structured revision sheet of 20 most important points for UPSC from these notes. You get a personalized cheat sheet based on your own notes, not some generic material. This is why digital notes are no brainer. Paper notes cannot do this. A notebook cannot talk to an AI, but your Obsidian old, it is AI ready by default. One quick word, be mindful of what you share with the AI tools. For example, for your UPSC preparation, your notes are academic in nature, so there are no major concerns. Just be aware that whenever you paste into a free AI tool, which is not fully private, if this matters to you, you can use local AI models like Olama on your own computer, and there are Obsidian plugins as well to connect them. But for most aspirants, using ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini with your study notes is completely fine. Let me bring this all together. You just learned the Zettelkasten method for linked note taking. You set up Obsidian with a UPSC specific folder structure. You learned to take notes from newspapers, PIB, and subject books. You saw how Graph View makes your knowledge visible. You set up templates for consistency, and you understood how your notes become supercharged when you combine them with AI. But here is the most important thing I want you to take away. The goal is not to have perfect notes. The goal is to build the habit of connected note taking. Even if you add just 2 or 3 linked notes a day, one subject note, one current affair note, connections between them in 6 months will have a knowledge base that no one can take from you. UPSC rewards people who can see big picture and make connections. Obsidian trains your brain to think in connections. Every time you ask, what does this link to? You are training the same mental muscle you need in that exam hall. Start today, not tomorrow. Download Obsidian, create your old, make your first 3 notes. That is all, just 3 notes. Come back to this video when you need to build it. If this was useful, please subscribe. I make videos on how to study smarter, not just harder, for UPSC exams and competitive exams. Drop a comment below telling me what topic are you going to make your first Obsidian note on. I read every comment. Also, link in the description for my Polity Anki Deck. If you are building your Obsidian old and want your space repetition to run alongside, this deck is exactly what I use. Polity becomes very easy when you are doing both. Good luck. Study smart. See you in the next one.